Hey guys, welcome back to Jess Reads Romance. I'm Jessin, and today I'm going over my July TBR. It's a little late, and I do have a reason. If you notice, I am congested. I am currently sick, but I want to push through because I want to get this video out. And I haven't been that great about keeping up with my videos in June, which hopefully I can get a wrap up out as well. Anyway, I wanted to talk about the books that I wanted to read in July. Compared to my June TBR, I didn't do as well as I wanted to. It's not that I didn't read a lot of books, I did, but I was mood reading the majority of the time. Technically, this TBR is more of a guideline. It's definitely books that I want to read in the moment right now. Like, these are the books that I'm interested in, but not necessarily, and there's quite a few of them on here. That does not mean that I'm going to get to all of them, but these are what I hope to get to. These are what I hope to get to. So let's start off with the new releases and the arcs that I have for the month of July. First up is Throne of the Horde King by Zoe Draven. Now, this book is the final book in the Hordes of Drakara series, and to say that I'm like sad, it's like bittersweet that the series is ending. I love it. It's one of my favorite sci-fi romances. I'm sad that it's coming to an end, but also I don't think that it's a bad thing that it's ending, because I feel like the books have been so strong throughout the entire series. I'd rather the author end on a high note, so I'm very excited about this one because I briefly skimmed the synopsis and it sounds like our final Horde King, who is the bastard son of like the king of all the Horde Kings. He's traveling to find the priestesses because there's lots of stuff happening. And his heroine is a half Dakari, half human woman, and I'm very interested to see how that came to be, because human and Dakari pairings are like very rare. So I'm just like very curious to see, like, this is a grown adult woman who's half Dakari and half human, and she's living with the priestesses. So I'm very curious to see if she has like any powers like our heroines throughout the series have, and what could possibly be the culmination of this entire series, what the balance of this planet needs to find to be healthy again. So I'm very excited about that one, and it comes out on July 5th. Next up, I have Bright Like Wildfire by Juliet Cross. Now, this book technically I've kind of already read before, but not really. I did read the first draft of Bright Like Wildfire, but I know that there's been extensive changes since I read that first draft. So when it comes out on July 12th, it's going to kind of feel like I'm reading it all over again, like a brand new book, kind of. Anyway, but I'm really excited to jump back in with Bennett and Betty. This is Juliet Cross's first small town contemporary romance that she's publishing. It's a new series set in the fictional town of Beauville, Louisiana. It's based on our hometown, or Juliet's hometown, in southern Louisiana. And though she did previously publish Parks and Provocation, that was in the Green Valley world. So this is the first contemporary romance that she's actually publishing in her own world. So I'm very excited about that. It is kind of like a second chance romance, more like enemies-ish to lovers. There's an incident that happened like almost 10 years ago between Bennett and Betty that kind of put a bad taste in Betty's mouth about Bennett. And now they have to be the leads in this small town local play opposite each other, and so they have to have this chemistry together. Sparks start to fly because there's forced proximity, so I'm very excited to be diving back into this world and see what changes Juliet has made since the first draft. Now, the next book is a random one that caught my eye. It's called The One Who Loves You by Pippa Grant. I've read a couple by Pippa Grant. She tends to have like more humorous stories, and the synopsis really was drawing me in. Not only because it was a little humorous, but it involves a single dad. So apparently the heroine moves with her grandmother to this small town, and the town is called Tickled Pink. And from what I can remember in like the Hose series, is it called Happy Cat, that town? Pippa Grant names her town some weird name. So anyway, it's Tickled Pink, Wisconsin, I believe. She moves to this small town with her grandmother, and I think they used to live in New York. So she's like kind of high society city girl. There's this like grumpy neighbor, and he's a single dad. So I love single dad romances, and I thought I would want to check this one out. So that one also comes out on July 12th. Then one of my most anticipated reads this month is The Crush by Carla Sorensen. I absolutely love this next gen spinoff that she's done from her Washington Bull series. This series doesn't have a title yet. She tends to name her series like after the fact, like after they're all out, which is a little bit weird to me, but it's the next gen, Washington Wolf series, and The Crush is about Emmett. Yeah, it's Emmett Ward, which is the son of the couple from The Marriage Effect, and apparently he's been pining after Adeline Wilder, and we meet the Wilders in the last book of the series. The plan introduces that hero who is a Wilder, and we meet his family, and I do believe that after The Crush, maybe, we are going to get a spin-off series with the Wilder family. There's lots of kids in the Wilder clan, so I'm very excited to see more of the Wilder siblings, and I'm excited that we're going to have another crossover between like the Wards and the Wilders, and it's going to be really exciting. I love the sports, small town kind of vibes romance that Carla Sorensen tends to write, and it just has a lot of heart. Love the family dynamics, and I love to see my characters from the previous series pop up. I think that Carla Sorensen does a really good job balancing all that. So that is out on the 21st. July 21st. The next new release is Garnet Flats by Devney Perry. It's the third book in her Eden series. And I believe, from what I can remember of Juniper Hill, I think that they tease the next couple at the end of this, and I think this is the one with the MMA fighter hero, if I'm not mistaken. But I do know that this is going to be kind of like a second chance romance. It sounded like, from the synopsis, it sounded like Talia was in love with Foster, and it says she was in love with him for like a year and some months and days and whatever, but it seems like he married her best friend, so I'm wondering if this was a case of like, he was already with the best friend and Talia was in love with him while they were dating type of thing. Or was it like they were actually dating and then he ends up with the best friend somehow? I don't know, but it seems like it's a second chance romance. He's newly divorced and he has come to town, I think specifically in search of Talia. So I'm very excited about that. I'm leery of second chance romances. They don't always work for me, but I am excited about this one. It sounds like it's going to be fun. And that one comes out on the 26th. We have a couple of books that come out on the same day, the 26th. I have 2 arcs that also come out on the 26th. The first one, I'm so excited. I got a copy of Storm Echo by Nalini Singh. This is the bajillionth book in the Side Changeling series. I know that technically she started kind of like a spin-off and it's called like the Trinity whatever. I don't care. It's all Side Changeling. It is Side Changeling to me. If you don't start at the beginning of the series, you're probably not going to jump on board with this spin-off, not having known what happened in like the first 12 to 14 books. Forget how many is in the original series. It's quite a few. It might even be like 16. I don't know. That's a lot. It's a lot. Now, this is the US cover edition, but if you watch my channel for any length of time, I actually collect the UK editions. So I will be buying this beautiful cover once it comes out, and it comes out like months and months and months later after Storm Echo will actually release. But I will be buying this copy because I just love them. They're all cohesive. They're all consistent. From book 1, Slave to Sensation, to the new release, they all look the same, and I love that. And she has like some really hot cover models for these UK editions. Anyway, I digress. So this is going to be a Psy and a Changeling pairing, which is one of my favorite combinations that Nalini Singh does in this world. And we're going to return to the Merchant family. I honestly forgot how Merchant, how Ivan is related to Silver, who she was the heroine from Silver Silence. I forgot how they're related. I'm sure that it will all come back to me once I start reading the arc for Storm Echo, but his heroine, her nickname is Lay and her full name is Soleil. She apparently, something happens, like she disappears and she loses her memories, and they recognize each other, I guess like a year later or so. Like he sees her on the streets, and her actual, I don't know what kind of changeling she is, but the animal inside her, that part of her, recognizes like her mate in Ivan, but she doesn't remember. Her human side doesn't remember. So this is going to be really cool. It's kind of like a second chance romance, and it has amnesia in it, which I'm a big fan of. So anyway, I'm very excited about that, and I'm so excited that I got an arc for it. Then the last arc that I have is The Return of the Duke by Lorraine Heath. Now, I have not read the second book in the series. This is the third book in Once Upon a Dukedom, that series. I have not read the second book, and it's because there was like mixed reviews for the second one that I ended up by just not reading it, and I hope that I can jump into this third book without having needed to read the second book, because I don't know, I just don't want to right now. His father, who was a duke, was hung because there was a conspiracy against the queen that he was involved in, and so Marcus, the hero, he has been stripped of like his title and his lands and money and all that jazz, but they need to find out who else was involved in the conspiracy, and maybe if he can like clear his name, maybe he can like have his title back and all that jazz. Anyway, but the heroine, Esme, who I don't remember, I don't recognize from her name from the first book, she might have been in the second book, no clue, but her motivation also like aligns with him finding who's involved with this conspiracy plot against the queen, and she has her own reasons. So it seems like they're going to work together, and I'm just excited to be able to have this arc going without any real expectations. I feel like the expectations in response from other people is the reason why I didn't want to pick up book 2, so that's why I'm very excited that I got this arc. Okay, so that is it for all the new releases in July that I'm excited to read. I'm sure there will be more, but that's all I'm writing down right now. Now, here are a few other books that I just may pick up during the month of July. The first one is Lost in Amber by Maz Maddox. If you have not read this series, the Relic series, it is dinosaur shifters, and they're all MM romances. And at first, when I was looking at the cover for this, and I was like, oh, T-Rex is finally going to get his book, but no, it's not his. But it's fine. It's Yu's, which we don't really know too much about Yu. He seems like more on the quiet side. But when I was reading the synopsis, this was really funny because Maz Maddox actually has quotes from the other characters in the series. So it says, Dalton's quote about this says, "Probably hot and fun and a little weird, but you won't let me read the story until I can beat him in rock, paper, scissors. He cheats." Then Royal responds, "This story is action-packed and wild. Dalton just really sucks at rock, paper, scissors." Baha says, "I'm not doing this. Stop asking me for a quote," because he's really grumpy. I loved his book. It was called Sink or Swim. Montana, that's who I thought this book was about, but it's not. He's like the leader, and it says, "Use one of my oldest friends and someone I deeply respect. The story is a peek into the life that is mysterious and uniquely his." Then we have a quote from Henry, who I can't say who that is because it's a spoiler for the third book in the series. It just says, like, it's blank. Anyway, I'm excited to see Henry again. He's really cute. But this also seems like it's a second chance romance between somebody who came really close to actually killing Yu. And Yu's supposed to be like a really good fighter. So I'm very excited about this pairing. The synopsis is a little bit mysterious, and I really like that. So I definitely want to pick this one up in July. I also wanted to pick up one of the books that I got in my Target order when Target was having that, sale that they usually have. So I ended up by picking up the 3 books in Devney Perry's alternate author name, Will and Ash. I believe that this is called Calamity Montana, sorry. And The Bribe is the first book in the series. I honestly didn't even read the synopsis. She just writes like really fun small town romances that have like a lot of heart, and I like her writing style. So I'm very curious to see like what's the difference between her pen names, Devney Perry and Will and Ash, because I really haven't researched it that much. But let's see, this one says, Duke Evans didn't expect to interrupt a beautiful woman in a staring contest with a bison on his favorite hiking trail. He also didn't expect to see her again after rescuing her from the surly beast. As a sheriff in Calamity Mountain, he's also had his fair share of surprises, but none as pleasant as pulling over a shiny black car, finding his mysterious hiking companion behind the wheel. Only she lied to Duke. She gave him a name as fake as her hair color. According to her driver's license, her real name is Lucy Ross, the famous country music singer whose sudden disappearance has been a hot topic in the media over the past 2 weeks. He's not sure why Lucy lied about her identity or why she's in Calamity, and she's not talking. Instead, she offers him a bribe to keep her secret. But Duke doesn't want her money. He wants to know why this woman is on the run. And as long as the stars shine on his badge, he's gonna find out. Cute. I really like this. Okay, I'm glad I decided to pick this one up for my TBR. We'll see if I get to it though. I do have the other 2 books in series. I'm not sure how many there are. She usually writes about like 5 or 6 in a series, so I'm assuming that's how many there are, but I only have the first 3. Then I want to read A Dangerous Kind of Lady by Mia Vinci. So I'm going to talk about A Wicked Kind of Husband a little bit later, which is the 3rd book in the series. But just to let you guys know, I read this series completely out of order. First, I read A Wicked Kind of Husband, which is the last book in the series, or the latest that she has published, and then I went back to book 1. So to round off the entire series, I need to read book 2, which is about Arabella, and I think I'm going to listen to the audio because I did listen to the audio of A Wicked Kind of Husband the first time, and when I reread it as well, and it was a really great audiobook. I did read A Beastly Kind of Earl, which is the first book in the series, and I did enjoy that, but I don't know. I'm just very interested in the audiobook for this one, and plus I need more audiobooks for this month. I really like having an audiobook and a physical book to switch between. I feel like it makes more sense if I want to read the most that I can during the month is to have an audiobook going. So the heroine of this book, Arabella, we do see her in book 1 and book 3. She's an heiress and her father wants to marry her off very well. I think that she did have an engagement with the Marquis of Hardbury, but he had disappeared for a while, and apparently they were childhood nemesis, and now he's recently finally returned. She wants to have a fake engagement with him. Like, she doesn't actually want to marry him, but he's like refusing to even entertain this idea, but she's very stubborn and she wants to get her own way. So this is their romance. It's a fake engagement, possibly enemies to lovers type of vibe. So I'm very excited about this one. I love Mia Vinci. She's a newly discovered indie historical author that I really love. She's only written these 3 books, and I'm very excited for the 4th book in the series that is supposed to be published this year sometime. She hasn't announced a date. Now these next 2, I'm not even going to talk about the synopsis for them because it's so late in the series it doesn't even matter. I'm almost done with the Pennyroyal Green series. I'm currently in the middle of listening to book 9, but for my July TBR, I am putting the last 2 on the list, which it started with A Scandal is the first one, book 10. And then the last book of the series, I can't believe it took 11 books to finally have Lion Redmond's story, but this one has been teased basically since book 1. Lion Redmond has been missing for years. He is the person that was going to inherit his father's title, but now his brother is going to inherit the title, but he's not dead. He's not dead, and I'm very curious to see how his return will go down, what it's going to mean for Miles Redmond, his brother, who's now, I mean, like, it's not like he wants to inherit. I think it's a viscountcy. So I'm just very curious to see if he's going to come back to the fold and like take up the mantle again. But yeah, Olivia Eversea, this is kind of like a star-crossed lovers story because the Redmonds and the Everseas are like butting heads. And apparently there is kind of like this prophecy that an Eversea and a Redmond are destined to break each other's hearts every couple of generations. So this is a second chance romance. And I can't tell you guys what Lion has been doing for the past couple of years because we do kind of find out in one of the books in the series. But anyway, it's 11 books. 11 books is a long running series. And I've been steadily working my way through them this year. Okay, now for the books that we're going to be reviewing on the podcast. The majority of these I've already reread. Entreat Me is the first book that we'll be reviewing in July, and then we'll do A Wicked Kind of Husband, which is the one that I was talking about. This is A Marriage of Convenience, and I really loved it. It just was fantastic, and if you have the chance to listen to the audiobook, it's just really good. And finally, I do need to reread Drive Me Wild by Melanie Harlow. So those are the 3 books that we're going to be reviewing on the podcast. Now for the book clubs. Okay, so first up is the Rake Appreciation Society's pick for July, which is The Lady Chosen by Stephanie Lawrence. I have not read any of the Bastion Club series yet. I own all of them. I collected them because they have some really beautiful step backs. Very gorgeous. And I read the synopsis like a long time ago, but I totally forgot about it. So let me refresh my memory. So it says, there is more than a touch of the wild adventure in each of them, and they are loyal to the bone. 7 of London's most eligible bachelors band together to form the Bastion Club, an elite society of gentlemen dedicated to determining their own futures when it comes to the most important step of all, marriage. Tristan, Earl of Trentham, has never expected he needed to wed within a year or forfeit his inheritance. Love a good inheritance forcing you to marry trope. But he is not one to bow to the matchmaking mamas of the ton. No, he will marry a lady of his own choosing, the lady he chooses, the enchanting neighbor living with her family next door. Ooh, next door neighbor. Miss Lenora Carling has beauty, spirit, and passion. Unfortunately, matrimony is the last thing on her mind. To Lenora, Tristan's kisses are oh so tempting, but once bitten, forever shy, she has determinedly turned her back on marriage. But Tristan is a seasoned campaigner who will not accept defeat, and when a mysterious man attempts to scare Lenora and her family from their home, Tristan realizes he's been given the perfect excuse to offer his services as protector, seducer, and ultimately husband. So I really like this. He's the one pursuing her. And I think that that's really fun. It is for him to keep his inheritance, but I do like that he's going to pursue her. And I'm just very excited. I love Stephanie Lawrence. I love her Sinster novels. Like, I just really love that series. It's also a very long running one. So this is the official Rake Appreciation Society book for July. But Crystal also asked me to be part of a special episode that she wanted to do. So on July 14th, Tiffany, Jen, Crystal, and I are going to read Persuasion. I have never read Persuasion by Jane Austen. I was not one to gravitate towards the classics unless they were assigned in school. It's not that I didn't enjoy them when I read them, but I don't know. I just never felt the need to read all of the classics. I'm going to be very interested to see what I think about Persuasion by Jane Austen. I haven't even watched any of the movie/TV adaptations of Persuasion, so I honestly have no idea of the plot other than what I watched of the trailer with the new one that's coming out with Dakota Johnson. So it seems like a second chance romance. She once turned down, or I think at the behest of her family, the heroine turned down the hero. And then, damn, I can't lie though, in the trailer, when you have the hero, which, what is his name? Wentworth. When you have Wentworth versus the very handsome Henry Golding, I kind of want her to end up with Henry Golding, but I know that she's not going to. So I'm kind of sad about that. I wish Henry Golding was the hero. I'm assuming that Wentworth is the hero. So anyway, you guys are probably laughing at me right now, but it's okay. So that live show will be happening on the 14th. And then for The Lady Chosen, that will be happening on the 21st. Both on Crystal's channel. The Historical Hellions are reviewing Ransom by Julie Garwood. This is a book that I have actually already read before, and I might reread it. But regardless, I do want to participate in this chat. I've been missing the Historical Hellions live shows because I just don't put reminders on my phone, but I've already put all reminders for the live shows that are happening in the month of July in my calendar, so hopefully I won't miss this one. It's going to be on July 23rd. And then finally, we have the next book in the SJM read-along. If you haven't heard of this, Jen from the Book Refuge has put on a read-along of all of Sarah J. Maas's series in book publication order, because it seems like some of these series are going to be connected, if not all of them. We're reading through every single book that she has published, and for the first time I'm reading the Throne of Glass series. I have read A Court of Thorns and Roses series as well as the Crescent City books, so I'm still in the midst of reading Throne of Glass for the first time. But on the 31st on Sam's channel, which I'll link that down below, we're going to be doing A Court of Mist and Fury, which is a lot of people's favorites books by Sarah J. Maas, just like ever. And I'm so excited that I got my slot on this live show. Of course, when Jen put up the Excel spreadsheet where we could sign up to see which live shows we want to participate in, I immediately was like, where's that one? And I got on it like the last slot. So this is very exciting. I also love these dust jackets. These are the Illumicrate dust jackets that I have, and they're just really beautiful and they feel so lovely. So I'm very excited to be rereading this for the first time. I don't know, last time I listened to the graphic audio, and the graphic audio is available on Any Play, at least the first part of A Court of Mist and Fury. I believe it's 3 parts if I'm not mistaken. But I think I'm going to physically read it, because if I don't physically read it, I can't tab the book, because the beauty of audiobooks is that you can do other things. I can do like chores around the house. Well, I'm not actually going to be taking the time out to go tab and go find where I am in the book. And I really miss doing that for A Court of Thorns and Roses, especially since we're supposed to be looking for clues, what could connect all these series. So I just feel like it's important to physically read it. So that's what I'm going to do for this one. And I'm very excited about that. Woo! Okay, that is it. That's it for the month of July. I'm sure there will be some other random books that will pop up on my radar. And most likely I won't read all of these books, but I am going to try my hardest. Let me know what books you're excited to read in the month of July down in the comments below. I hope everyone's having a great summer and reading lots of amazing books. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe to get notified on any future videos that I do. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, life's better with a little HEA. Bye guys.